Notification volume 0%.
Good afternoon and welcome to more M.M.E. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and for today we're going to be covering the Crimson Twins themselves, Tomax and Xamot from the G.I. Joe classified line. Please tune in and sit back and listen, because I'm going to verbally describe as much as I can, because the whole point of this is maybe getting some blind people interested in action figures, because personally speaking, as a blind person, I enjoy them. And I figured, there's got to be another blind person out there who also enjoys collecting action figures. So this is to you, other blind people out there that collect action figures. So I'm asking all of you sighted people that are seeing this right now, share it, so that the blind people that like to collect action figures can find my videos, because they're having a hard time finding my videos, and it's only with your help that we can reach the other blind people. So please share and like, and if you won't, subscribe. That'll definitely help me and the YouTube algorithm, so I can reach more blind people who like collecting action figures. Because right now I haven't reached many blind people who like collecting action figures. And if you are a blind person who likes collecting action figures, please sound off in the comments below, so that I know how many blind people that like to collect action figures I have watching my videos. Because that tells me exactly how many people I've reached. That would be a helpful little analytic there. They don't really cover that type of data entry. Which one of you are blind? I need to know. So let's get into that one. And getting into things, let's start talking about these two, the Crimson Twins themselves, Tomax and Xamot. How do you tell the difference between Tomax and Xamot? That is a first question to ask, because they are exactly the same in almost every single way, except a few. For instance, they are the same exact body sculpts. They don't have the same exact head sculpt though. One of them parts his hair off to the left, and the other one parts his hair off to the right. Let's see. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So that's one thing that's different about him. But the other thing that's different about him is Xamot has a shoulder pauldron on his left shoulder, and Tomax has his shoulder pauldron on his right shoulder. Xamot has a sheath on his left hip. Tomax has a sheath on his right hip. Xamot has a sheath on his right ankle. Tomax has a sheath on his left ankle. And so Tomax is the right brother, and Xamot is the left brother. Or the sinister one. Ooh. Now, stuff about Xamot to further help you figure out, and we normally cover accessories first, but I figured this is a unique sculpt work, so we're going to cover the sculpting first in this episode. Ooh, switching it up. Yeah, going all ADD chaos on you. Now, we've got Xamot here, and he has a scar that runs down his side of his face, and they sculpted it in quite nicely. You could feel the scar. You can know that this guy was the one that had the run-in with Chuckles. And on a little news blurb, Chuckles is in the pipeline for G.I. Joe Classified, set to be released in 2024 from what I hear rumor-wise. That's going to be great, because I really want a Chuckles. And I really, really hope, I'm really hoping they give us two heads for Chuckles, so that, a head that's wearing Crimson Guard garb, so that we can switch out a Crimson Guard for a Chuckles, because that's what Chuckles like to do a lot. He just like to pretend to be Crimson Guards and get close to the Crimson Twins. That's how he almost cut up Xamot. At least that's how I remember it. I may be misremembering it, but that is a unique feature about Xamot, which makes him completely different than Tomax, except for the other little things. Now we got him here up to the hair of Xamot. We can feel that it's parted off here to the right, and there's a bit that comes down to the left side. He's got more hair going to the right of his head than to the left. And Tomax is the exact opposite. Now, the hair sculpt on this guy is pretty good. I remember them having really unique hair. They had a fun accent too. I can't remember the exact country. I know it starts with a C, but I can't remember it. The hair is all cut short. You got some nice solid cut lines on this hair, like he goes to see the barber a lot. And get over here to his shoulder pauldron. He's got a little neck shield that covers the neck. I remember this. I always enjoyed that. I thought it was a fun looking outfit when I was a kid watching the show. And yeah, he comes over here to a nice little belt that stretches across, and it's this is an entirely removable piece if you want to remove it, but I don't know why you would. I think it's removable at least. It may not. No. I think it's just sitting there. So yeah, you could probably take it off. It would require removing the head. Um, Going back to the head, though, we've got a nice mouth feature, good, strong, sturdy nose, kind of a long nose, and he's got those cool eye. He's got some cool eyebrows in there. He does keep them trimmed. You can feel that in the eyebrow. And the eyes are pretty decent themselves. It's definitely a nice face sculpt. I really enjoy these face sculpts, and I do appreciate how you can get this feeling of a person. He's got kind of a shallow chin. It doesn't stick out that well. It's yeah, no, it's not a strong chin, but it's an alright chin. And then he's got these really cool cheekbones that that are very they come up very close to his lips and give him more of a I don't know what type of face, but it's a neat sculpt. I do like it. So let's get in here to his core. And core body wise, he's just got this. He's got its typical center sculpt. I don't know what plastic they used for his upper body, but I don't really like it too much. And I don't really like the fact that he's got this really hardy joint in the middle that does upset things. It's like they kind of gave us the roadblock top a little bit. And for Tomax and Xamot, I assumed more that they would be getting the whole rotation of the core body more, get that nice articulation in there so they can do some cool action poses, which would require them getting more of a body sculpt like like Snake Eyes, the new Snake Eyes body sculpt, something like that. Not this. And I dislike whatever plastic they've used on this body sculpt. I don't like the sound of that. That is not a great sounding plastic. That's another thing. Like, this is the first guy that I've had that I'm like, what is this plastic you're made out of? It doesn't feel right. And again, I may just be maybe wrong on that, but it does feel like a different plastic. Now, it does have a nice articulated joint in the center, but we're covering sculpt. So further on the sculpting, we've got some nice muscle sculpt going down the arm. We've got some little veins popping up here and there, because remember, he had one arm that was sleeved and the other arm that wasn't. And you can see that here. His unsleeved arm's got a little more focus on the muscle fibers and muscle tone, and the other one is a little shallower on the muscle. It feels like it's got cloth over it. Then again, I could be wrong and I'm just projecting, but that's what I'm feeling here. Now we've come down here to the hands. He doesn't have any crazy awesome little wrist things or wrist accessories, but he does have some nice feeling gloves, and I do like the fact that the hand it feels like this is a glove that goes all the way on, and the hand rotates itself, but not this glove section, which is a bit of a shame. Yeah, it's kind of neat though. I do like the fact that the hand sculpt is supposed to go all the way back to mid forearm because of those long gloves. And further down here, we've got a little pocket on his belt, and then we got this sheath on his left-hand side. That's a decent sheath. It's doesn't have much sculpt work to it, which is a shame. They usually give him a bit of sculpt work, like leather molding or something, but not this time. And then down his legs, we get some armor pads that are on the front on both legs. That's pretty cool. I do like that. It's extra armor. These guys don't like to get killed. They don't like bullets. They don't like to get shot at. It's completely understandable. I completely agree. I'd wear a lot of armor too if I could afford it. And if I'm in a war zone or doing bad things, why not just wear armor all the time? Now, I do like the boots. He's got the spiky tip on the knee. That's pretty neat. And then the boots are very nice and smooth textured. They feel like a little bit plastic, maybe metal boots. And there is a swivel, and the swivel happens right at the joint where the boot connects to the upper leg, which I really appreciate. I've talked on here before about how, like, the Vulcan mold for Marvel Legends, they split his the back muscles in his lower leg so that you can have that rotation, which ruins the feel of those muscles, because then they're all broken up. This one, all the muscles are hidden behind this thick boot, which means that you can rotate the boots around and not interfere with the muscles. And I do like the fact that the knee pad rotates with the boot. That's a cool feature. That's a neat piece. Look at that. You bend the knee and that end of the boot sticks up pretty far. That's really cool. I do like that. And then we're going to come down here to the rest of the boot, and we're going to get the sculpt work of, well-worn boots. And underside, let's talk the underside. We have got the underside of a boot sculpt. Not as prevalent as we've seen in other G.I. Joe classified figures, but it is pretty good. It doesn't have a boot cut in the middle, but it is a decent boot. Gotta like it. And I do love the fact that they do pay attention to the bottom sculpt. Now, let's talk articulation. So, foot-wise, he's got that normal articulation that we've seen with all G.I. Joe classified. He also has a slight up and down for the toes. Is that a slight up and down, though? Or am I just projecting? No. You can go up and down at the ankle. The knee is double jointed. Now, my Tomax has my Xamot has a bit of a problem of his left leg is very loose, and I don't like that. I don't like how loose that left leg is. And that's leading into a lot of problems of him liking to fall over. And the right leg is just a little loose as well at that joint, which is a shame. I was hoping that those joints would be a little sturdier. Now, we come over here to the hips. He's got the normal hip stuff. He can go in all sorts of stuff. He's got that pop-down hinge. You engage that, and then you can pull it back a bit more. Then you just pop the hinge back into place. And he's got waist rotation, but not by much. It's a shame, but for some reason, he just does not get that much waist rotation. I think it's because of whatever this armor padding is that they use for his backside, because he does have kind of a bubble butt for a G.I. Joe classified figure. I think maybe that's upsetting the ability for the rotation here, which is a shame. His core really sucks in articulation. They used that clickety-clack core, the ratcheted core that we got with Heavy Artillery Roadblock, and I wanted more articulation out of the core. I wanted him to be able to twist left and twist right really far, like you can with the Snake Eyes figure and the Storm Shadow figures. Like, they have better. The Ninja figures have got some great articulation in that core, and I was hoping for that with Tomax and Xamot. Now, get over here to the shoulder. All the articulation we've come to expect from the shoulders, and the bicep rotation is pretty nice. I do like the fact that they don't cut the muscles in half with the rotation, so that when it rotates, the muscles rotate with the rotation, and it looks more natural. I do appreciate that. Marvel Legends, maybe you need to call the G.I. Joe classified people about how you're putting your rotation points in the middle of muscles. He also comes with nice double-jointed elbows, and he's got an up and down motion on his right hand, and on his left hand, he has got the up and down motion. What do you got on your left hand? You got the side to side? No, you got the up and down too. He's got up and down on both of them, which is cool. He doesn't have a left or right. He's got an up and down on both of his arms. Now, hopefully he stands, and we're going to talk about the accessories. Now, accessory-wise, other than the stuff that's on the body, he comes with an Uzi, an actual Uzi this time. This thing's got a little handle on the front so that he can hold it with one hand, and a little pistol grip in the back, and a really long ammo clip in the middle. And it also comes with a silencer that you can plug in. And of course, all of this is Blast Effect compatible with the Blast Effects we got in the Cobra Viper 3-pack. So there we go. I plugged in a little Blast Effect. Set that off to the side. Put the Uzi. By the way, the Uzi here is some excellent sculpt work. Some of the best sculpt work I've seen for a gun in the G.I. Joe classified line so far. This is just top notch. And I really love the fact that you even have this little bit that sticks out the side, and that's that charging thing. I think it's called the charging handle. I don't know enough about guns, but that bit can pull back and go forward when the gun fires. It's neat that they even included that. That was cool. Now, he also comes with two Chris's. They are knives that are wiggly. They got a wiggly blade. The only reason I know about these types of knives is because of Diablo 2. I played a lot of Diablo 2 in my day, back in the 90s and early 2000s, and these blades were top-notch in that game. I love these blades, and they are really good. I really like them. They have they're exact copies of each other. So you're going to get 4 of these blades if you buy both action figures. But they have some nice texture in the blade itself when it's wiggliness, like flowing water. Chris's are some nasty blades, and then the hilts of them are quite excellent. They feel like they're aged. They feel like they're family relics. They keep getting passed down from generation to generation, and that's what I think they are in the show. So there you go. Anyway, guys, this has been my review. My final thoughts on these guys. I'm going to give them a 7.5 or 7 out of a possible 10. It's really hard for me to give G.I. Joe classified figures a low rating, but because of the way these guys are built, they have a tendency to like to fall backwards more often than most of the figures I've had. And they don't even have backpacks. But out of all the G.I. Joe classified figures, these guys are more often than not going to be the ones that fall backwards. I've worked very hard today to make sure they don't fall backwards during this episode, but trust me, they fall backwards all the time. And that is a negative on them, a big negative on them. And I think it has something to do with whatever they were doing with the backsides of these guys. It just isn't right. There's something wrong about them. Maybe their feet aren't big enough, but they are back heavy in an incredible degree. And that's a shame. Maybe it's because they're using such a heavy a core body. And if they had done more like the Ninja core body, maybe that would have been able to fix the problem. If we've gotten Storm Shadow's new Storm Shadow's core, that may have fixed the problem with these guys being a bit too back heavy. But that is the biggest negative I have on them, other than the fact that they didn't come with a place to store their little Uzis that they come with, which, me and G.I. Joe Classified, that is a big no-no on my part. Even Stalker got points off for not being able to store all of his weapons. It just, you got to give us a place to store all the weapons, or sell us some weapon storage, or you can mention in the comments if you want me to start selling my Lego lockers, and then y'all have something to store your stuff in, because Hasbro isn't giving it to us. Hasbro refuses to give us any sort of storage for our G.I. Joe Classified. Even though they're constantly throwing accessories at us, they're never, 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 never giving us anything to put them in. And I'm done with it. So I'm going to start making my own stuff. And I've already got videos on my channel based around things that I've built to store my G.I. Joe classified accessories that I just keep getting so many of in every one of these things. So he likes to fall backwards a lot, and he can't carry all of his weapons. And yep, that's why he's getting the 7 out of 10 rating. They are excellent figures. On the other hand, I really enjoy them, and honestly speaking, they really deserve an 8 out of 10. It's just that the fact that they fall backwards so often, and the QC problems I've had with the knees, yeah, that's the 7. But thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Please tune in next Prime, where we'll be covering JP93 from the Jurassic Park crossover Transformers edition. And yeah, have a great day.